Hello, welcome back to another video. Now in my last video you saw me manufacturing this solar panel stand so that I could charge the Bluetti inside my Mercedes Vario. But as you can see, it's been cloudy ever since. And as you can tell by the noise behind me, I've currently got my Mercedes Vario running to charge the Bluetti that's in there. I've got a generator running to charge the Bluetti that's inside my Mercedes Sprinter. Yes, it's that time of year again where you simply cannot rely on the big orange ball in the sky to give you power. So let me switch all this stuff off and I'll tell you exactly what this video is all about. So what's all the noise about, you may ask? Well, the fact of the matter is this barn that I'm using as a workshop has absolutely no power. It's completely off grid. That's why I'm relying heavily on my AC300 that's inside my Mercedes Vario and the Bluetti AC200 Max that I have in my Mercedes Sprinter. But I don't want to have to keep running a generator and running the engine in the Vario just to charge them up. Now last year I did use EV charging points to charge the batteries in my Mercedes Sprinter and it worked perfectly fine. The only downside was I had to sit in Tesco's car park for hours on end whilst they were charging. And I don't really want to be spending hours and hours sat in a Tesco's car park this winter. After all, I've got the Vario to finish building. And it just so happens I've seen an absolute deluge of videos here on YouTube from creators claiming you don't need solar panels on your RV or your expedition vehicle or your off-grid overlander anymore. Solar panels are a thing of the past. Just take a look at some of these thumbnails. So I was quite intrigued to find out what all the fuss was about. Well, it just so happens Bluetti have released a new product. So I had to get my hands on one, and that product is the Charger One. Basically this takes power from your alternator and charges your power pack. But the big downside with this is, yes, there are downsides, and because I'm not getting paid to make this video, I'm free to talk about them. The downside is that you have to unplug your solar panels, because this basically does replace the solar panels on the roof of your van. But to me that seems pretty ridiculous. Why on earth would you want to unplug your solar panels so that you can charge your power pack using just your alternator? Surely it makes more sense to use your alternator and your solar panels at the same time, and that way you'll get more power going into your power pack, charging it a lot quicker. And not only that, what if you sit still for 2 or 3 days? Your power pack is slowly going to be depleted, and that's why we have solar panels on the roofs of our vans, so that if we do sit still for a couple of days, on a sunny day at least, your solar panels are going to carry on charging your power pack. So my big question is it possible to use one of these without unplugging your solar panels? After all, if you've got 2 solar panels on the roof of your van, chances are you're going to be using one of these wire pieces or one of these wire connectors. So you'll have 2 solar panels plugged in this end, and then this other end takes the power to your power bank. So in my mind I'm thinking, why not connect one of these to your solar panel or solar panels, and then the other side to the Charger One. Therefore, when you're sat still, your solar panels can continue to charge your power pack, and when you drive, not only are your solar panels charging your power pack, but also so is your alternator. Can we have the best of both worlds? So in today's video I'm going to try a little experiment just to see if it is possible to use this Charger One and solar panels at the same time. Now I'm not actually going to use this wire connector. I'm going to use something a little bit simpler, takes up a little bit less room, and that's one of these. And these work exactly the same. You have 2 inlets, 1 outlet. Now I'm going to add something else to this, and this is the safety aspect of it. I'm going to add these diodes to it. What these are one-way valves. The current can only flow in one direction, thus preventing any backflow of current back to either the solar panels or the Charger One. Hoping this will prevent any damage occurring to either my solar panels or my AC200 Max. Now talking about voltage, this does actually come with a Bluetooth app, and you can control the voltage output on this, which is why it is compatible with most other power packs. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take advantage of this by adjusting the output voltage to match the output voltage of my solar panels. And I've got household solar panels on my van, so the voltage of those is 36 volts, I do believe. So by setting the voltage to 36 volts on this, as well as using these diodes, we should be, fingers crossed, perfectly fine. Now before I do install this into my Sprint, I just want to touch on one other kind of flaw that I've come across, and that is with the cable that Bluetti supply you. It has got an RCD cutout switch on one end, but this end is the end that attaches to the charger 1. The other end of this cable connects directly to your engine battery. As you can see, it's not fused. There should be a fuse as close to your battery as possible, so I highly recommend, if you are going to use the cable that Bluetti supply, make sure you fit a fuse between here and your battery terminal, and that fuse should be rated about 60 amps because the Bluetti charger can draw up to 50 amps. So make sure you fit a 60 amp fuse between this cable and your engine battery. Just wanted to quickly touch on that. This isn't an installation type video, there's plenty of those on YouTube, so I'm going to quickly go and install this, then I'll run you through it and see how it works. So here we go, there's the Bluetti charger 1, it's in place. It was really simple to swap out. All I've done is swap it out for the voltage sensing relay. Really simple, especially as I already had the power and the negative cables connected in situ anyway. It took me literally 10 minutes to do this. Now, the MC4 connectors that come out of the charger 1 are supposed to go directly. Now I'm going to unplug my solar panels and plug the charger 1 into this, but before I make the final connection I must check that the charger 1 is set to power my Bluetti AC200 Max. Good job I remembered, and to do that we simply go onto the app. So there you go, there's the charger 1 app. We click on charging voltage, we've got a list of different power packs there. I've got the AC200 Max, so I click on that. Okay, done. There you go, charging voltage is 56 volts. 56 volts from that, that's pretty cool. So let's plug this in and see what happens before I modify it. Right, so that's all plugged in. Let's start the engine and see what output we get. So there we go, we got 543 watts, 62 watts. That is a lot of juice coming out of the alternator, so I'm going to change it because I want it down to 36 volts to match my solar panels. So let's switch it off, and then we'll see what voltage or what wattage we get when we turn the voltage down to 36 volts. Also, I need to plug the solar panels in as well. I've just read the instructions. It says before changing the voltage you do need to unplug it. So I'm going to unplug this and go back on the app, down to the bottom, custom, pro mode, accept all the terms and conditions, change it to 36, hang on, 36 volts, done. Okay, so now I've changed the voltage to 36 volts. So here we go, I've disconnected everything. I'm going to try and do this so that it makes some kind of sense. So here's our positive and our negative for our Bluetti charger 1. This is the output. This is the output from our solar panels, the positive and the negative. This is the input to our Bluetti AC200 Max. Here are the two 2-into-1s. So you do need a pair of these, one for the positive, one for the negative. I should have mentioned this earlier on in the video. You don't just use one, you need 2 of these. I've also got my 2 diodes. These are literally one-way valves. So I'm going to start by using the negatives first. So we take the negative from our Bluetti charger 1, we plug that into one of these 2-into-1s. We then take the negative from our solar panel, that goes into our 2-into-1. So there's our 2 negatives fed into one. So we've got one negative cable coming from the solar panel, one negative cable coming from the Bluetti charger 1, these two cables now become one. So we now go ahead and plug in the Bluetti AC200 Max by doing that. So now our Bluetti AC200 Max is plugged into this circuit. So now we've got the negative circuit done, we move on to the positive. It's always good to end on a positive note. So we take our one-way diodes, plug one into our Bluetti charger, the other end of this goes into one of our 2-into-1s. We now take the positive from our solar panel, again connect a one-way diode into there like that, and now it's safe to plug in the AC200 Max. This cable goes to the AC200 Max solar input. So we plug that in, that is it, that's our connections done. So we've now got 2 live feeds going into the AC200 Max, 2 negative feeds going into one which go into our AC200 Max. So now we've got all our connections made. We've also turned down the voltage of the Bluetti charger 1. This is now turned down to 36 volts. So let's see what difference adding these diodes and turning down the voltage actually makes to the power input into the Bluetti. I'm expecting it to drop a little. Wow, just look at that, I have actually lost power. So it's gone down from 550 watts to 350 watts. Well, it's fluctuating around about 350 watts. So I've lost almost 200 watts by turning the voltage down. But I'm happy with that. That's okay because it means it's less strain on my alternator and also less risk of things getting too hot. But I'm wondering if it is the diodes that are causing that wattage drop. Should I disconnect the diodes to find out? No, I'm going to leave them connected. I'm happy with that. I'm satisfied it's safe. So I'm going to leave it just the way it is. Well, there you are. I think it's safe to say that experiment was a success. Nothing went bang. There was no smoke to be seen anywhere. So if you've already got a power pack set up in your camper van with solar panels, there is no need to unplug the solar panels and discard them. You can use the charger one in conjunction with the solar panels on your van. Just remember to make sure you set the output voltage on the charger one to match the solar panels on the roof of your van. If you do that, I'm pretty sure you'll be perfectly fine. Now we'll leave links in the description of this video down below to all the products I've used, including the Y connectors, the diodes and of course the Bluetti Charger 1. Now for full transparency, just like every other YouTuber you see on YouTube, those links are affiliate links and I do earn a very small commission if you were to click on them and buy something. But the great news is it doesn't cost you anything extra. It does help me out, it helps me create these videos. And hopefully you enjoyed watching this video, you found it mildly entertaining, slightly informative. If you did, then I'm sure you'll find this video just as exciting. Thanks for watching, ta-ra for now.